Today we slow down and look back at the emotional journey we have been walking together. Emotional Mastery Review. You're welcome to Safe Settings Podcast. I am Adedamola Flourish Balami, your host. We are reflecting today. We will reflect, we will integrate, and we will honor growth. Because emotional mastery is not about being perfect with feelings. It's not about perfectly, guarding our feelings. It is about learning to understand them, express them, and move through them with wisdom. Over the past weeks, we have explored awareness, regulation, communication, resilience, and safe connection within the family, with our children, within the school, and in other places where we find ourselves. Emotional mastery is the gentle weaving together of all these skills, and that is why we're reviewing it today. It does not mean never feeling overwhelmed or emotionally flooded. It means recognizing emotions without being controlled by them. Whether we're children or we're adults, we need to grow emotionally, and we grow emotionally when we learn to name what we feel, when we learn to pause before reacting, and when we learn to choose responses that build connection instead of conflict. Emotional regulation strengthens the prefrontal cortex of the brain when we're able to regulate our emotions. And that is the area that is responsible for decision making and self-control. So with repeated practice of emotional regulation in safe environments, our responses become more balanced and thoughtful in situations that we find ourselves. Here is a time for us to reflect. Let's think about what we were emotionally, alarmed about some few weeks ago. What were you like emotionally? Let's even start from there. A few weeks ago, what were you like emotionally? Right now, what feels different? What feels calmer? What feels clearer? Sometimes we're looking for where we have areas of growth in our lives, and growth is not loud. Usually not loud. It sometimes shows up as recovery time after difficult moments, like you have that shorter recovery time after a difficult conversation or after a difficult experience. It doesn't take you time and time when you are beating yourself down, when you are talking yourself down, or when you are busy scheming and planning your revenge. You just realize that you get over it easily, faster. So your growth could show up as a shorter recovery time after you have faced a difficult moment. It could also show up as softer words. Maybe your words have become softer. A soft answer turns away wrath. You have learned to respond in such a way that conflict is doused rather than encouraged. And it could also show up as choosing understanding over reaction. A lot of the time, the first thing in our minds is to react, aura for aura, give it to them as they're giving it to you. But you just realize that growth in you now shows up as you choose to understand where this person might be coming from, choose to understand what might be going on around them, over reacting to them or reacting to situations. It could also be like some form of, self-love. I choose to love myself. And so I choose to nurture myself in this kind of situation. And you make that choice. Those are the things that show that you're growing. Emotional mastery grows through practice. It's not about you putting pressure on yourself. God, help me. I don't want to shout again. And then you are shouting and saying, I'm not shouting. No. It's not pressure. It's practice. And when we become aware, we are able to notice our emotions. So awareness helps us to notice emotions. Communication helps us to express emotions. Resilience helps us to recover from overwhelming emotions. And safe relationship helps us to keep growing. Should I say that again? Awareness helps us to notice emotions. Communication helps us to express them. Resilience helps us to recover from overwhelming emotions, and safe relationships help us to keep growing. So when we as a family, or when families, when school system, when a classroom practice emotional skills together, the class, the school, the home becomes a place of safety rather than a place of tension. And what we want is a safe space to experience growth. So as we come to this moment of reflection together, I want to invite you to pause gently and look inward. Look at yourself. Because we're not just reviewing emotional mastery. It's something I want to see what is taking place in us already. Over the past weeks, was there an emotional skill that you noticed growing in you or in your child? Or in the child that you support as a teacher or as a minder? Maybe it was patience during a difficult moment, or the courage to name a feeling, or the ability to pause before reacting, or the ability to listen without judging or correcting or instructing. And sometimes growth shows up quietly. And when it shows up quietly, it is deep and meaningful. You will know. So look at yourself. What are those skills that you have noticed in yourself and in the child that you're supporting? Here is another question that I would love you to sit with softly. It requires you sitting with it. What practice helps you to respond more calmly this season? If you have noticed calm response in yourself, what practice helped you to respond more calmly this season? Was it taking a breath before you speak? Stepping away to reset? Or was it that you choose to listen a little longer? To listen to understand? And to be able to give the appropriate response? Notice these small habits that created more peace in you, because they are the seeds of emotional mastery. They are the seeds that will grow into, this is such a calm, beautiful listener, a loving person. When they start describing you, you'll be like, whoa, I have come a long way. These reflections remind us that emotional growth is not about getting everything right. We must establish that. It is about becoming more aware. It is about becoming more gentle with ourselves and more intentional in how we respond each day in every situation. Here are the practical takeaways for this episode. Number 1, pause and name one emotion each day. Pause and name one emotion each day. So practice the pause and understand the emotions that is driving your action at that time. Reflect on one moment of emotional growth this week. That's another takeaway for this week. Reflect on one emotional growth this week and celebrate progress as you're going. Where you feel like you have not achieved your desired goal or how you plan to be, give yourself grace. Be kind to yourself. Where you see that you have achieved, celebrate progress. So we're looking for progress, not perfection. And here is the challenge for today. Take 5 minutes to reflect quietly. What emotions do you handle differently now than before? That is your own personal reflection. What is that emotion that currently you are handling better or differently compared to how you were handling it before? Write it down, notice it, and honor it. Until next episode, remember that emotional mastery is not a destination. It is a gentle, ongoing journey. You are learning, your family is growing, and something beautiful is unfolding. Have a beautiful time. Bye-bye.